cycle ride from hell. 2 nights ago I had a dream where I was cycling along the towpath on my bike with my feet clipped in, as I always do, and I fell in, and in the dream I couldn't get out of the canal because my bike was on top of me and my feet. Well, this is a story of how dreams come true, or self-fulfilling prophecies, or whatever you like. Yesterday we cruised 10 miles, canal miles, and today I'm going to cycle 10 miles back to get the car and bring it back to Fenny Compton. 1.5 miles on the journey out from the boat, I get a call from Fran. I can't hear what she's saying because the signal is shit. Excuse my French. And by the way, boating fans, let me tell you, these things are useless on the canal system. And with EE, Fran's with Vodafone, more than 50% of the time we cannot get a signal out or in. And I'd say it's 70% of the time. Fran, am I right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
We don't get 4G, 3G phone signal. So I come back to the boat, I get the car key, which I know that's what Fran's ringing me for because I've forgotten it. I head back out, so I've done 3 miles without getting anywhere. And I'm a cyclist, have been a cyclist in the past. I've lapsed 3 years for various reasons. And as a cyclist, you're competitive, so no, you don't poodle along. You go at the fastest speed you can. So I get to Knapton, look at my phone, look at the time, think, that's not bad. That's 14 miles in an hour. That's 14 miles on a towpath, where half the time you can't even see the towpath because the undergrowth has grown and the brambles are ripping your arms to shreds. But that's another story. I get to Knapton, really pleased with myself. Go to get the bag off the back of the bike and it's not there. And I'm telling you this, Fran's recording it, she hasn't heard the story. I am so wound up. So I think, oh, it could be 100 yards away, the bag on the towpath. It could be 3 miles away or what. So I thought, well, I've got to cycle back and look for it. So after about 3 miles, I'm too busy studying the terrain to see if in the long grass, to see if the bag's in the long grass or what, and it's probably in the canal. So I'm tootling along, then I didn't notice the canal path just slips away, and I'm looking at the other part of the path. In I go, in the canal, bike on top of me, feet clamped in, and all I can think about is this dream, and I'm under the bloody water trying to get my feet out the pedals. Unfortunately, you know, 2 seconds seemed a lifetime, but yeah, I got the feet out, the bike's on top of me, I threw the bike on the towpath and scrambled on the towpath, filthy, covered in mud, swallowed water. I got all these raw cuts on my arms, and now I'm thinking Weil's disease, you know, because you can get Weil's disease, is that what it is, Fran? And all because we've got the bloody car chasing it day in, day out, because we've bought a sodding cottage in Herefordshire for our future. Anyway, I found the bag on the canal 2 miles from the boat. So I have cycled 24 miles on the canal to get where I started from, which is nowhere. So, folks, dreams can come true, but the ones where I win the lottery just haven't yet. Over and out. Here's one for my brothers. Do you remember, boys, back in 1971, hiring one of these from Shropshire Union Cruises? Exactly just like that, I think it was, with a sliding roof. Don't think that gets moved about much these days.
Back on the boat after our longest time away from it, I think. We've been on land for 8 days. Really noticed the change. The hedgerow and the canal bank has really changed. And I need to get the plant book out again this evening. I think this is Filipendula growing all along here, but I'm not sure. The ducks have grown so quickly, there's no babies hardly at all now, they're all got their proper feathers on. Looks like I've missed the elderflowers. Lazy cow, I should have done the elderflower cordial earlier. And we're surrounded, going along the Oxford Canal now, by swifts coming down and feeding. We've just seen a pair feeding their babies. And I can't think how anything else can make you more aware of the changes in nature and countryside. Just a week and it's like a different area, different world. Still haven't seen many butterflies. Chris Packham has put an appeal out saying that everything is in a real downward spiral now. There just are no butterflies. So we're trying to keep a real good lookout for them and keep a note, but maybe see 1 or 2 a day. Very worrying.
What are you talking about, babe?
I'm just doing, this is Franny's nature vlog.
Banging on about nature.
I'm not doing eco warrior stuff though, just nature. Hey, look at me. What's that?
That is my narrowboat experience badge. I don't get it because I've had narrowboat experience. It's the narrowboat experience vlog. Those 2 girls. Should I call them girls?
Ladies.
Ladies? Well, what's more patronising, girls or ladies?
Fellow boaters. We're on the same stretch of canal as them at the moment, so we're cranking it a little bit today. We may even catch up with them.
I doubt it. I think they're a few days ahead of us
Are
now,
they?
on account of things going wrong at the bloody cottage again.
They're running away from us. That's more like it. Anyway, looks like we've got another lock coming up, so enough of this drivel.
Your turn. Hello.
Hello.
Well, I think I've calmed down. What a day.
Yeah. Don't want too many more like that, do we, really?
I always knew I'd fall in the canal at some point, but off the boat, not off my bike.
I still think I might be the first one to go in off the boat.
Yeah.
But I think you win the prize, actually.
Well, you're more cautious than me on the boat, you know, all the locks. It just goes to show that you just don't know what's happening, you just don't know what's going to happen next, and wow, I just don't know what to say. It worried you because I was away for so long, and I was supposed to be away for an hour and a half, and by the time I got back and fell in, got on the bike, and it was, you know, 2.5 hours, wasn't it? And I was worried for Fran because I got the phone in my pocket, which was Fran's phone because my phone doesn't like GPRS, so I needed the GPRS to get the car back here. So your phone's done in now, isn't it? It's not working.
Well,
it's been in the canal.
I think we've more or less decided to just get basic phones anyway, get rid of the phone, but
You have.
well, they're no good anyway, you just said so.
The path between, we're at Fennycompton, at Oxford Canal, as you know. The path between here and Knapton is so unpredictable. The first 2 miles from here up north, up towards Knapton, there's so much overgrown, there's so much overgrown stuff,
yeah.
but you can't see the towpath. So you're judging where it should be. The hedge on the left hand side as I was going up was so overgrown that you had to just ride into the hedge, and that's how you get these scars. And I'm used to that off-road cycling, you know, over the last God knows how many years I've done with friends. But you can't detour off what you think the path is going to be because you're going to go in the canal. So you just put up with brambles scratching you. Yeah, you can get off the bike and push it around, but that takes forever. But coming back, the canal towpath just was so, well, it's so bumpy and anyway, and you get hollows in the ground that just fall into the canal. And you wiggle around them, But because I was looking for this bag that had dropped off the back of the bike, I didn't see this one coming, and then whoa, in I went. And the bizarre thing was that I had this dream 2 nights ago where I had fallen in on my bike. And because I have these shoes that clip into the pedals, in my dream I couldn't get them off. And that's the first thing I thought about as I was falling in the canal, was I'm not going to get my shoes off. But it was okay, it was fine. To be honest, it didn't shake me that much. I was just so angry that I'd fallen in. I just threw the bike on the side, got out, and got on my bike and carried on. Fortunately, it's the height of summer. It's the hottest day of the year I think we've ever had this year, and God knows what I'd have done if it was winter. You know, if it was 0 degrees and the canal was 0 degrees. I'm in the middle of nowhere, absolute nowhere.
And this bit of towpath has been really quiet. When we moored up for lunch yesterday, we commented there were no walkers, runners, cyclists. There was nobody on the towpath. Well, you begin to wonder whether the canal towpath is not maintained because nobody uses it, or whether nobody uses it because it's not maintained at all. And we're the first ones to say that we like to see the wildflowers growing along the towpath, but surely there should be a usable path that you can see going along it.
I've cycled many miles in the past, before we had the boat, on towpaths of canals, and I've never known it this bad. Yes, you can see where the canal falls away because it's all cut down, but this, you know, the weeds and brambles were, you know, were this high, so you're just hoping that you're still on the path and not gonna fall in. But
Jess has just fallen in again just now for the same reason, that the grass and the towpath, you can't see where the canal begins, so she's gone wandering up towards the canal and then she just disappeared in again.
Yeah, well, fortunately we were coming back from the shop, you know, and we saw her fall in. I just yanked her out as usual. But sometimes when you're moored up in the middle of nowhere, we just let the dogs out for 5-10 minutes, and they just scoot up and down. They do their own thing, and we wouldn't know, would we? If she'd fallen in, we wouldn't know. So
a few lessons learnt, maybe.
I'm sick of learning lessons. I just want a quiet, peaceful, off-grid life, and we haven't got there yet, have we?
But I think it's made us more determined that the car has to go.
Yeah.
That we're not free to travel where we want to go and where we want to be, because every couple of days we've got to plan to go back and get the car. And as much as you like your cycling, we would have been happy just to cruise along for another five miles today. We looked at options to collect the car, and it was going to cost £35 for a taxi, or be 2.5 hours on a train.
Stroke bus.
So it's not really an option for us. So I think that's it. You know, we've got 2 weeks possibly now when we really do need to keep the car, and then I think this has pushed us to make that decision to get rid of it, and we'll just hire a car for a day when we need to go back.
The thing is, I've been a really keen cyclist in the past, and with my best buddy Steve, who was on the last video, and we've both let it lapse over the last few years. Steve, because of his love of sausages and beer, and well, you know, I don't need to go into why I've stopped cycling, but depression, you know, is part of it, and I feel like I've really enjoyed the cycling back up and down the canal to get the car, and I don't want to stop it. I don't want this to be an obstacle for me getting fit again. So I'm still going to cycle on the canal path, but I'll be ultra wary in future.
You'll still be jumping over the locks, won't you, though?
I will still be jumping across the lock gates because I can. Is that an answer?
I don't think I will
No.
ever, because
There's no need for you. If you...
I know I could. My legs are longer than yours, for goodness sake. I know I could easily looked at a lock gate yesterday and thought, oh, I've got to walk away and I could easily step over this. But the consequences are not really worth it for me. Consequences are not really worth it, you know. So it takes me another few minutes to do a lock because I've got to walk round.
If you're not confident about jumping across a lock gate, then you shouldn't do it. But to me, it's just a, you know, 2'6" step across. So yeah, but it always crosses my mind every time I jump across a lock what I could be leading myself into if I fell down. So
but we have had some fun over the last few days as well, haven't we?
We have had some fun.
It's not all doom and gloom.
The weather's been fantastic. To moor up, yesterday we did it. We moored up in the middle of nowhere, had lunch, sat on the canal bank, read our books. The dogs were milling around, and that is what I'm seeking. And it can't come soon enough for me. And all I could think about when I scrambled out of the canal, all I could think about was Fran. She was fretting. She must have been fretting because I was gone so long. So, all's well that ends well.
We're an emotional pair of idiots, aren't we?
This stretch of canal is really busy. And fortunately, nobody was around when I fell in.
Because it would have bruised your pride.
But unfortunately, maybe there wasn't someone around because they might have been able to help. But if it was winter, I'd have loved somebody to come and pluck me out and put me on their boat and shower me down, if you like.
And we've had a good read up on Weil's disease, which is very, very rare, but is pretty nasty. So the worrying thing is that Richard just cut his arms on the brambles, so they were open wounds. And he's been in the canal for probably a good minute, I would guess. No? But long enough, you know, so we've really got to watch out, apparently, for flu symptoms, tiredness, lethargy.
Tiredness and lethargy. There's no difference
few
there.
Days. And, you know, if there's any symptoms at all, apparently you need to go to see a medic quickly. You don't hang around with it. So you'll be okay. I'm sure you'll be okay.
I'll be fine.
But
it's such a rare thing to happen.
Just have to be aware of it.
Yeah. These two idiots have been in so many times, you know, they haven't got Weil's disease, have they? So, fingers crossed. But in the great scheme of things, folks, we're loving this life.
And we're going to have the rest of the day off. We're not cruising today now. We're just going to sit around, and the boat's staying pretty cool in the heat of the
yeah, we're
day.
really amazed. We're not actually under too much shade here. This side of the boat where the sun's coming in most of the day. And I think it's because we've got a lack of windows in here. We've only got one window either side in the lounge. And it stays really cool, doesn't it? It's
as soon as
nice.
we're here, we just open everything and let the breeze through. And I was worried it was going to be a bit like a baked bean tin and be really roasting in here. But it's not, it's fine, isn't it? It's cool. Yeah, have a nice restful day.
We're going to head down a little bit further towards Banbury tomorrow.
Cropredy, is it?
And Cropredy before that, yeah, where they have the folk festival.
Oh.
I know.
When's that?
Well, I don't know.
Huh?
Yeah. It's July, is it, usually?
Oh, well.
Back to the house.
And at some point we've still got to collect the car, so...
So I have actually tomorrow got to cycle back and get the car. Are you going to be running behind me in case?
Possibly, yeah.
That'll be fine. I know I can do it now in under an hour.
But we have got...
be trying to beat that, won't I?
Oh no, no. But we have got some nice clips to show you as well of our travels over the last hour or so. And
oh, you've got a new video to show us, a new review, which involves Edna, the washing machine.
Edna, the washing machine that you said was, she's the dignified washing machine. You likened her to Edna Everage. I think it's more like Edna the Inebriate Woman. If anybody, if anybody knows that link, let me know. Not Edna the Inebriate. It was a play years ago. Really funny. Anyway,
yeah, okay.
I think the way she staggers across the bathroom floor, she's more like Edna the Inebriate. But I bought some soap nuts, which apparently are really natural soap pods off of a tree. And because, well, I talked to you about it as I do it, but I'm going to get the machine out in the morning, probably before we publish this video, and or on the next one, and do a little review of these natural soap nuts and how Edna the Inebriate likes them.
Yeah. Watch this space. So, over and out.
Yeah, hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Sorry there's nothing much happening, but there is in our lives.
There is for us, yeah. And hopefully we'll get back to real narrowboat vlogs next time.
Do you know what? We've bought wood panelling, I think we mentioned it before, for the side of the boat.
We've got a sink ready to fit in.
Yeah, we've got a sink ready to fit in, we've got painting to do, and we just want to transform this boat into a space that we love. We don't, not that we don't love it already, but we want to make it our own, don't we?
And we want to show you what we're doing as we go along.
Yeah.
We're going to make mistakes, probably.
We're going to make that table smaller as well.
But yeah, so you can see a little bit more of boat life over the next few vlogs, hopefully, and and what we're doing on Constanza.
So stick with us, folks. Thumbs up, subscribe.
Push the button, the like button.
Push the like button. Thumbs up, subscribe, and keep watching. We love all your comments, as usual. Keep them coming. And thanks so much to all our Patreons. You know who you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hot on a narrowboat.
I think I need a new hat, Rich.
Yeah, I think you do. You're looking a bit Tom Sawyerish.
Huckleberry Finn.
Huck Finn. So, what's occurring, Fran?
Well, we've just done 8-9 locks, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that. Heading down to Fenny Compton for tonight with the aim of mooring up in the middle of nowhere. We have provisions, and you now have your art material on board. So if we could find a shady spot this evening, I think it might just be books and painting and some stuff.
Sounds idyllic.
There's not much happening really.
What are you cooking for dinner?
Oh, well, I've went to a beautiful little shop in Napton, village shop with all local produce. So we're going to have homemade broccoli quiche, which I will be making with new potatoes and a little bit of salad on the side.
Is that the same shop you bought me a big jar of sweeties from the other day?
I did buy you a big jar of sweeties.
Well, the landscape's really flattened out now. Off the top of the locks. It's a stunning day. It's getting a bit warm though, has to be said. We are expecting 30 degrees this afternoon, which is a little bit hot for us lot in Blighty. I know you Aussies and Americans have it a lot hotter, but we're not used to it and we don't like it. So we'll be mooring up in the shade at some point. But yeah, lovely part of the world. There's boats so busy on this stretch of canal. We must have passed about 10, 12 boats.
Yeah, fortunately most of the locks have been in our favour today.
Yeah, that's really
because
a real bonus.
There's been plenty of people on the canal. So, yeah, it's been a good day. We're not rushing anywhere. Just taken our foot off the accelerator, literally, haven't we? And we're just now we are, even though we have to be in London weekend after next for a concert. We're not rushing, we're just going to go, so get there when we can.
Get there under our own steam by public transport or whatever.
Me.
Bless you.
Hay fever.
So yeah, all good with the world. Bless you again.
I know other vloggers have talked about this, but we were in a pub at Knapton a week ago. We got chatting to a local farmer, and I believe I'm right in saying that this is his land and that this boat belonged to somebody that worked on the farms and for the land owners nearby, and they used to travel up and down, and I think CRT got a bit stroppy with them for not moving enough, so he came along with his crane and simply lifted it out, dug a hole and put it on his land, so CRT couldn't do anything about it, and this worker was still able to live on their boat. I think I've got that right, but interesting.
We had a couple of sherbets at the time though.
And you hadn't then? No. I seem to remember helping you back to the boat that night.
It was dark.